Coming over. Thanks, man.
I'm not.
I mean, yeah.
I hate you so much. Like honestly, I hate you with a passion right now.
Why?
Aiden,
Pringles. You know what? For how mad I'm getting, I still love you.
All right. You're on camera.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Why are you so cold?
Yes! Yes!
We're sponsored by Pringles now. Thank you, Pringles.
Sure.
Yeah,
Bro,
like
you're
in Miami, living in the back. It's awful.
You what?
She has Miami living in her like sweatshirt, like
Hey,
actually.
Right there.
Can I? You just bring your stuff too.
Run so they can't catch you.
What kind of BBQ is that?
Barbecue? I don't know.
Okay. We're on 113, yes?
I'm one.
Elizabeth Fresh.
No, with feeding tails.
No, not again. No.
Okay. So take a look at page 113. Take a look at 1, 2, 3, or 4. Is there any questions on those? So today's Tuesday, yes?
Yes.
So today we're going to focus on just starting our review. Tomorrow we're going to continue a little bit more review, and it goes along with the calculator stuff. So that's today. Tomorrow it's more review. Thursday we have finish up the review, give you the take-home test to work on, and I'm going to try and give you at least 30 minutes. And then Friday we have our quiz. Cool. All right. So I'm on page 113. Take a look at 1, 2, 3, or 4. I mean, do you know how to do them? If not, ask me how to try one of them.
Okay.
What page? 113.
113, please.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, or 4. Do you feel comfortable with 1, 2, 3, 4? Take an honest look at it.
Wait, is slope intercept y percent x plus 3? Or is that the y equals y?
So that's slope intercept. This is
slope form.
Y minus y.
You love.
X minus x.
and then you have this one, which is just your slope equation, right?
Where is? Oh, it's right
yeah,
here.
I did.
And then there's the last method that we don't really hit that much. This is called standard form. So slope intercept, point slope, standard, and that's your slope equation. So
I did the third one for all of them.
okay, so you found the slope,
Yeah.
which is a start. And did it just ask to find the slope? Oh, it says write the equation in slope intercept form. Okay, so if you found the slope, once you find the slope, then you plug that in right there.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to pick one of the points to solve that you're going to plug in the x and the y, and you solve for b.
Well, how do you choose for the x and y?
Here's the well, you have no problem. You have 2 points, right? You have x, y, x, y. So you have no problem picking an x, y, right?
Yeah.
So if I told you 1 point to pick, you'd say, oh, that's x, x, y, right? It doesn't matter which one you pick, actually. Because definition is this. If I have 2 points, no matter what 2 points they are, that are separate points that have an x and y value, there's only one line that will go through it. Cool? So is there anything about 1, 2, 3, or 4 that you need me to clarify a little bit further for you so that you have notes on your homework that you can refer to? We're good? You sure? Yeah.
Is 1.5 a half?
1.5 is 3 over 2. But you can
Oh.
can totally, I have no problem if you have a decimal for a slope at this point. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So could I think that maybe number 5 we want to walk through?
Yeah.
And number 5, we can do one of two things. They do have it drawn for us. So let's do number 5 by hand. Okay? Because on your quiz, you'll have one to do by hand, and then you'll have another that you can use on the calculator. You can use the calculator on the whole test. But, so let's take a look at number 5. And I'm not going to have the best artwork up here as far as this data goes. Is it something like that for number 5?
Yeah.
Don't be too critical of my drawing. Okay, so it says use the equation. Okay, for the following 2 problems, choose any 2 points and help you draw a line of best fit. Is there anybody in here who is stuck on finding just a line of best fit where you're just drawing the line in? You're stuck on just drawing it in? Okay, so best thing to do, you're gonna use a straight edge somehow, you know, like crud. Where'd my ID go? Oh, it's right here. I was like, what's my ID? So I've seen a lot of students in my other class, they start using their ID as their straight edge. It cracks me up. It's like, I didn't realize you guys were walking around with math tools right now. Huh?
Are your old IDs on there too?
No, I have,
Oh, I thought those were
that's me. This is a key card to get you into any school in the district. Sure. And this is my district ID when I was a math science coach. And this is the field pass, so.
Can I have one?
Where's Santa?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
It's back at the North Pole, man.
No, remember he gave you his ID.
I know.
I want the key card now.
Key card?
Doesn't that like waste a lot of money though? If you fill a picture of Santa?
Do what?
Waste of water.
Are you saying Santa's a waste of money?
I guess so. All right. So if I was trying to line of best fit, whoops, undo it. I thought I hit the wrong thing. I hit that. So I'm going to use my straight edge tool, and I'm going to try the best I can to try and figure that out. So as long as you have some sort of line that goes amongst your points, that's a straight line, you're going to nail it. Okay? Am I really testing that you could draw a straight line?
Yes.
Kind of. You know, like if you gave me this, whoop, you're like, you know, give me a line of best fit, and you're like, I think it's this, mister. It's like, okay. That's not it. So drawing a line of best fit. So that's the first part. And then it says, hey, you know what? We want to figure out what 2 points might be two good points to use in order to generate our line of best fit. So you want to figure out 2 points based on your data that both seem to be close to your line of best fit. Does that make sense? So it looks like on this one, maybe this is about 2, 4. I'm looking off the data, and then that one looks like about 6, 9, roughly. And I'm not going to give you decimal amounts to try and estimate. It's like, I think that's about 3.3. No, it's 3.4. You're wrong.
Oh, it's close.
So now I have these 2 points. So then we're going to go through and we're going to say, okay, we want to find the slope. And again, we've seen this equation a bunch, yes? So then I know that I'm going to go 9 minus 4. So y minus y. And then this y minus, or this x minus that x. So 6 minus 2. So 9 minus 4 is 5. 6 minus 2 is 8, I believe. So that's my slope. So that's my rise and my run. That's my map to find other points. Okay, so then we want to get this back to y equals mx plus b. Okay, I want to get there. So what did we just solve for? M. Is there an m in y equals mx plus b?
Yeah.
What do you think we're going to plug in for m?
Y equals 5x plus b.
Okay, so far we have this. Okay, now there's 3 letters to figure out. So then you have to take a look saying, okay, should I pick one of my values, one of my points, and plug it in? So I don't know, I'm just going to pick one of them. It doesn't matter which one I pick. It's going to be the same answer no matter what if I'm using those 2 points. Okay, so I think most of you are okay saying, hey, that's a y value, hey, that's an x value. Agree? Anyone stuck on that? All right, so I have an x and a y value, and I have this new equation, which is y equals 5 over 8x plus b. So what should I do with that x and y? With that new equation? Yeah?
Oh, you put the -2
For the?
for the x
Uh-huh.
and the 4 for the y, so we have 5, 8.
Sweet. So you said -2 right there?
Uh-huh.
That's a b. And then what was y?
4.
There you go. Done. Okay? Now what is this going to solve for us on this problem?
B.
B, right? And then once we find b, I'm going to plug m and b back into this equation and I'll be done. So, but I have to do a little bit of arithmetic here. So I'm going to get 4 is equal to -10 over 8 plus b. Is that okay? Can I reduce 10 over 8? What number goes both into 10 and 8? 2. And I get -5 over 4 plus b. Is that okay? I'm going to add 5 over 4 to both sides. 5 over 4 is 1 1/4. Is that correct to say that? Can I say 5 over 4 is 1 1/4? Just put that right here. 5 over 4 equals 1 1/4, right? Making it a mixed number. So if I add 1 1/4 to 4, what do I get? 5 1/4. There you go. So guess what I just found right here? B. Y-intercept, right? B value. So again, I'm going to take that B value, 5 1/4. What? I'm sorry. Let go down.
Wait, hold your horses. Okay.
Horsies.
How did you get B when y, 4 is the y? 6 is B.
Good.
Wait.
That's a B right there, right? Is that all right? Okay. No, I'm sorry. My B's and my 6's.
Wait, but I still don't get how you got B.
All right. Well, I plugged X and Y in.
Yeah.
And I added M. So I plugged it into my equation. So I did the arithmetic. So 10 over 8 is 5 over 4. Add 5 over 4 to both sides. 5 over 4 is 1 1/4. So I add 1 1/4 to 4 and get 5 1/4, and that's my B value.
No, I get that. I get like those steps and how to do that, but wouldn't it be y instead of 4? Because
Well, it will be, but we had to use our Y value to get our B value.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to use Y equals mx plus b. This is the same equation we're focusing on. So y is still y. My slope was what? What is it? It's 5 over 8, right?
Yeah.
And the x I'm leaving alone. And what is the b value I just found? 5 1/4. Okay? So that is my linear equation that contains those 2 points. But we have a couple of things to walk through. Okay, we have a couple things to walk through. We have to walk through and we have to use some of our points to get the slope. We have to use one of the points in the slope to solve for b. And then once we're done, we get to that point. Now, this says use the equation and write it in slope-intercept form. Done. Slope-intercept form. My y-intercept is 5 over 4. My slope is 5/8. The next step, letter B, and this again is on page 113, number 5, says use the line in part A to calculate x when y equals 20. Okay? So this is like a totally different question that it's asking. We're going to use this equation, and it says this. It says calculate x. What is x equal to when y equals 20? You know what it said? Yep. So using that equation and then try and answer that question. What should we do? What do you think? Yeah.
Where's the x? What? Where's the x with the 2 and the 1?
Well, that's a question mark, right?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But you're absolutely right. If you thought it was a 2, you'd be absolutely right with what you said. So I don't know what x is, but I totally agree with you. I know what y is. So then I'm going to take that 20, plug it in. Equals 5 over 8x plus 5 1/4. Is that okay? Now, here's rough stuff, because sometimes we suck at math, right? Especially when there's the F word in there, fractions, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of you, as soon as you see a fraction, you're like, dude, I'm done. I'll skip that one. I'm upset. It's like, calm down. Okay? So, watch this. So, I don't care if you are good at adding fractions or not. But what can I do to this 5 1/4 to bring it over here? Subtract it. Now, does everyone feel good that 5 1/4 is the same thing as 21/4? Is that okay? So if I were to put 21/4 in there, I can subtract it. Okay, so you told me to subtract 21/4. So I'm going to go 20 subtract 21/4. Is that all right? So 20 subtract, what am I subtracting?
Over 4.
What over 4?
21 over.
21/4? Subtract, watch this, ready? Watch carefully. 21, make it a fraction, over 4. Okay? Calculator's going to do it. Now, a lot of people don't know that a fraction and division are the same thing. Okay, so if I hit enter, I get this. You want to see probably the best key that works on these calculators? Like, you're going to be really mad that I just showed you this. You're like, dude, you know, there's like 9 tests I could have been doing this whole year and I would have gotten them right. You hit the math button. Still with me? See the very top thing says frac?
Yeah.
Yeah, that stands for fraction.
Oh my god.
What? Wait, what?
Why
So
not?
you're telling me.
Kidding me.
I told you someone's going to be upset.
Wait.
Oliver's going to walk out and find a puppy to kick. Huh?
That's a fraction.
So I just converted 14.75 back to the fraction using the calculator.
Why?
And we didn't know this. Why?
Like you or your.
Yeah, what about one
I've
hour earlier
introduced
in the
it to
year,
you.
please?
Well, why?
It's your Thanksgiving miracle.
Yeah, but you know.
Why could it have been a beginning of the year?
I could have got better grades on my test.
No, I've seen your test. You barely had your name right.
Oh,
All right, so
That's third grade.
it's like, man, are you kidding me? All right, so 59 over 4 is 59 over 4 is what I'm going to plug in. 59 over 4. So, ready? So this is 59 over 4 equals 5 over 8 x. Agree?
Yeah.
Now you're like, dude, there's still a fraction. This sucks. Okay. So you probably remember that I could multiply this by 8 over 5 and 8 over 5. Yeah, big deal. Still fractions. Okay. But does this math seem okay so far? So I'm going to go 8 over 5 times 59 over 4. Agree? Now you're going to start getting angry again. All right, 8 over 5. 8 divided by 5 times, I already forgot because I can't remember, 59 over 4. Okay, again, a division sign is the same thing as a fraction. Hit enter. You're like, haha, you got a decimal. Yeah. Math, fraction, enter. 118 over 5. La-ti-da-di.
Is it a problem that I was fiddling around with the calculator and now the graph is a picture of a water fountain?
What? Huh?
You were fiddling.
I want to
Where
say.
is it blue and magenta? Wait, what?
Oh, isn't it an actual picture?
Yeah, it's
What?
a picture of a drinking fountain.
Let me see.
Sweet.
Oh,
Not sure how you got that, but hey, I love it. All right.
I got a water fountain.
118 over 5. 118 over 5. 118 over 5.
Water fountain.
118 over 5. So x equals 118 over 5. So we are answering this question. Hey, when y equals 20, we plug 20 in, then x, so this is what x is equal to. when y is 20 based on our information. Okay, now letter C says use the line in part A, this is part A, to calculate y when x is 5. Okay, so then the next part is going to say, hey, we want to figure out what is y equal to, equal sign, or question mark, thanks, when x equals 5. So what should we do with this information and that equation? What do you think? What should I do?
Oh, you should.
What should I do with that 5?
Re-
Place what in that equation?
In the x.
I'm going to put it in for the x. So I have y equals 5 over 8. I had an x there, plus 5 1/4. Okay, I want to put 5 in there. Is that okay? So that's going to give me y equals 25 over 8. And we just did this. That's going to be 21 over 4, right? Now we have two fractions to add. And he's like, I ain't doing this, dude. Okay, well, let the calculator. So 25 over 8 plus, right? Whoops, I goof things up. I just can't have nice things these days. All right, go here, go here. Let's clear that, clear anything else to clear. 25 divided by 8. And I forget what the rest was. Plus 21 over 4. Plus 21 over 4. We got that. Hit enter. You're like, you got a decimal still. Math, fraction, enter. 67 over 8. We just added fractions together on this. 67 over 8, man. All right, so that's what y is equal to. Y equals 67 over 8. We've just answered everything about that question. Now we use the calculator as an unbelievable tool. So now the excuse of, dude, I don't do work with fractions. Okay, I just showed you how to do it on the calculator, which is pretty sweet. Oliver, don't mess up all the calculators.
I'm trying to see if I can fix it.
Can't take that kid anywhere.
You definitely.
All right, was that okay?
Yeah.
Feel okay? All right. So I got a problem that I want us to work on, and we're going to use the calculator on it. And this problem actually came off of the AP Statistics exam, the national exam. Now, don't let it frighten you, because when you read it, you're like, wait a minute, that's AP Statistics? Well, part of it.
Did you not see that? Like at the beginning of class? It was a really good looking security guard.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Don't do that to me again. 'Cause, I'm just going to embarrass you again, then I'm going to feel bad for the whole weekend.
And he's like,
All right.
he's like 52. He's like 40.
All right, so let's take a look at this. What happened?
She's so gross.
Oh, what'd she burp?
No.
Did she fart?
She was like, hey, she's 40. She's like, and?
All right. So this data here is a bunch of XY values, right? A bunch of points. It talked about crickets chirping outside and outside temperature. So the X is crickets chirping. We've all probably heard this at night, and it sucks when it's in your house going, dude, are you kidding me? And then the temperature outside. Now, before we start getting stuck in a bind, are you all okay that a temperature could be 88.6 degrees?
No.
Yes. I hope so. But then, where some people might start getting all discombobulated is going, how can there be 19.8 chirps? And I have to answer how we might come across that 19.8 chirps is this pull. I understand there's a magnet on the door. What do you got? Oh,
Me? Everett.
He's not here.
Is it Everett?
Yeah,
Is he still in this class?
I think so.
He comes to my history class. I have it 7th period, and like literally go to that. He's like, you go. No, you don't.
All right. So let's first decipher how we come up with 19.8 chirps. How do you think that might happen? Now this is a science experiment that's taking place. So what we might do is this. And I know this sounds exciting, but we all decide that we're gonna meet here on a Friday night. You still with me? I know it's not that cool, but let's just pretend we're doing a class field trip. We're gonna meet here on a Friday night. And we're all gonna meet at the tree right outside these doors. Still with me in this adventure?
Yes.
Now this isn't an official thing, so please don't come showing up Friday night looking for us.
Not official.
Okay?
I'll be here.
So what I'm gonna do
Keyword.
is we're gonna look at the temperature. We're gonna have like this temperature gauge outside. We're gonna look at it and say, hey, okay, this is the temperature. And then we're gonna go all around the school, outside of it, not inside. And you're all assigned a team of 2. And what you want to do is you want to find a chirping cricket. You want to just be able to hear it. You don't have to find it going, hey, look, it's rubbing his back legs together. Okay? Yeah, buddy. So what's going to happen is this. We all will come back after a little while and say, okay, I noticed when it was this temperature that we got so many chirps per minute. So let's say some groups got 21, some got 19, some got 18. So what we do is we basically would have taken the average of everyone's data and divided by the amount of people. That's how we're getting partial things. Now, as far as the temperature goes, the temperature has nothing to do with what we're reading is. You just look at the thermometers going, yep, temperature, good, accurate. Okay? So that's how we have chirping that aren't whole numbers. This is we were taking an average of this whole class when we met on this Friday out by the tree. Okay? Okay, so I want to now take this data and I want to plug it in to the calculator. Got it? So I have X and Y values. Are you still with me? Still with me on this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got to make sure because some people like get all angry. All right, so we are going to we're using group calculators. We need to go through this. Ready? Ready? Turn the calculator on first of all. I don't care what's on the screen. Hit second plus. Still with me? Joy, you don't have to worry about doing this to your
Like 2
calculator.
plus? Oh no.
No, second plus.
Second plus. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to hit the reset button, which is number 7. And then I'm going to do all RAM, and then I'm going to reset. And that's going to clear out anything that somebody might have had before you on the calculator. Which some people are like, dude, there was answers though. Yeah, but to what? You have no idea what the answers might have been too. So like, yeah, but in Algebra 2 classes before this class, so you don't want those answers. All right, so did everyone get here?
Yeah, this is RAM stands for.
Random access memory. Oh, it's instant memory.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that either.
All right, so you can hit clear. All right, now I'm going to do this. I need to go second catalog. So second, 0. Still with me? And then notice I have A, B, C, D, E, F. You see those letters on top? We're going to hit D. Is that okay? And where am I going to go down to? Remember?
Whatever. Oh, deposition or something.
Diagnostics. We want the diagnostics on. So once the arrow's there, you hit enter. You hit enter one more time. And what that does is it turns the R and the R squared back on.
Do you click enter?
Uh-huh. Hit it twice. Go enter, enter. We okay?
I got error.
Let me see. Second catalog D.
Oh, I
So you have D and then down here. Got it? We good? Who just walked out? All right. So now I want to plot this data. So help me out. Walk me through this, guys and girls. I have X and Y values. Where do I plot data on my calculators?
Oh no.
Stat, thank you. So find the stat key. It's on red right there up on the board. Then what do? Edit. So number 1.
One more line.
And I don't have anything in my list 1 and list 2 right now, yes? Because I reset it, correct? All right, so your x values, you're going to plug in. So I'm going to get 20, 16, and I'm just reading these right off, and I'm looking at only the x value.
Here's what 19.8.
Heck yeah. Calculator's not afraid of decimals and fractions. Not like me. I'm scared to death of it. I cry myself to sleep most nights thinking about fractions.
I really want to have that. That's why so you can lay awake and be paralyzed and see dreams in the door. It's so much fun.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah, boy.
lucid dreams too.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you.
No, Sophie, it's terrible. You don't want it.
So it looks like I
How
have
do you get it?
13 pieces of data.
You don't choose. Oh, I want.
That was when you're super stressed.
Hey, what am I going to put into L2?
Why values?
Yeah, the y values. And make sure you keep them in order. So look, 20 goes with 88.6.
I'm scared of the wrong video.
Mr. Stirrup,
Yeah.
are we gonna ever put in z values?
No, we're not going with 3-dimension mode.
Well, I mean, like,
In life,
yeah.
I don't know. It depends what job you have, what
Well,
degree
I
you
mean,
get.
like, in our education from now on.
I wasn't planning on having any Z's for you, but I mean, if you want, I'm happy to do some 3-dimensional math. Hey, it's Mr. Padovic. Throw money at him again.
You know what I don't understand? Why do we have to learn how to do this all on a calculator if we're not, most likely not going to do it later?
Because I am trying to teach you a problem-solving skill, and I'm using math as the tool to develop your brain to do it. You like that?
Most of this stuff I learned.
Okay.
No, but I think it's a push door I'm trying to pull.
I like your laugh.
I
I like that laugh.
Oh my god.
I can't tell if you're doing the vine or if that was your real laugh.
I think that was her real.
All right. Everyone feel good about plotting that information.
I was trying to do it.
Hey, so there's a few errors that take place with these. Sometimes people put in the wrong values, so double check your values. If their value is wrong, use your arrows to go back up to that, highlight it, type in the correct value. And then other errors is sometimes you might not have enough items in the list. Notice my 2 lists, there's the same amount of data in the 2. That's important to see. Okay? So now, this was our experiment. We recognized certain temperatures. We went out and collected data on how many chirps there were of these crickets. And we think that there might be some sort of correlation with the warmer it is, the more chirps the cricket has. I don't know. How many of you heard crickets like just the other night when it's like 2 degrees last night? I don't know if you went outside, but I didn't hear any. It's so quiet. Isn't it real quiet in the winter when you sleep? I love it.
I don't know. I'm usually
I love it when it rains. That's the best kind of
Love. I tell you what, my favorite though was this. Like this past Saturday night. It's snowing at my house.
that is the
And I know that I don't have to worry about getting up and driving anywhere in the morning. I was just like, yeah, baby. Hey.
Hi, sorry, I just need your signature real quick.
Yeah.
For what?
I'm missing one day for a deco then. Sorry, what did you do this year? I had no idea to get.
So did you.
I'm always on task.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
See you soon. All right, so we have this information up here, yes? All right, so I would like to look at the graph. So something we have to do before we look at the graph is we have to turn our stat plot on. So does everyone have the data plugged into their calculator?
Just second Y.
All right, so second Y. Awesome. Where to?
Plot 1.
Plot 1. So hit number 1,
Enter.
and then just hit enter, and now it's going to be on. And now that my data is in, so go second Y equals number 1,
Enter.
enter, so that now it's blinking on like that. And then in order to see my data now, I'm going to hit zoom, And we just put stats in, so I'm going to hit zoom number 9. And that's my data.
That was a lot, really quick.
Wait, what do I do after I do y equals second 1, enter? What do I press?
Zoom.
I don't know what I did.
Where's Zoom?
The love that I gave you.
Yeah.
So I get everybody see
Now what? Enter?
I got a line.
Alright, I'm coming to you. Okay. You have 1 too many pieces.
All right, well, I failed again.
It's better than
Did I put it in right?
Well, you have 1 too many y values.
No, water fountain's cool. Rather have water fountain than a line.
Look, Sophia, mine's
40
1.
old men. 40 old men.
I did it wrong.
Good.
You did just what I wanted done.
This one I
What'd you
saw.
say? Everyone else
I
good?
didn't actually.
Alright, so does everyone have something that kind of looks like this? Now,
I got a line.
okay, oh, so you already figured your line. So let's
no,
figure
like
out.
I got one just straight line, right on 1, 0.
Y equals. Oh. Alright, so, does everyone feel comfortable that this kind of symbolic to some sort of
Straight line.
straight line?
Yes.
Okay, so let's figure out our straight line. So let's remember how to do that. It was under stat. Where do I go after stat?
1.
Set up.
No, I've already added it.
Calc.
Calc, thank you. So you moved over, and then what?
Weird today.
What do you mean?
Then what? Then what? Then what? I want to find linear regression.
Oh, go to
I'm going to do number 4. Okay? Yes, there is number 8 as well, but we choose number 4. Okay? And then we go down to calculate. And so it gives us this linear regression model. Okay, so y equals 3.53x. So that's my slope. The a value is my slope. Still with me? All right, so I'm going to write that up here. Y equals 3.53x plus 20.76. And I have an R value of 0.85. All right. All right, so let's, eyes up here. So this is my linear equation. 3.5x plus 20.7. I have an R value of 0.85. So this is positive correlation, kind of strong. Okay, this is like getting an 85% on a test. We're happy about it, but then we're like, dude, we could have done better. All right, so now I want to graph this. So how do I graph it? I know, we'll get there. Let me graph it first. Y equals, where do I go after y equals? Bars, then what? Statistics, then what? Equation, enter, graph. Okay? So, what I would like all of you to do tonight, you have all the information from your calculator? Did you jot it down on this? Would you please answer the rest of these questions tonight? Cool? Hey, you're back! Where'd you go?
Teacher thought I was under the influence.
Who?
My English teacher. Because I was falling asleep.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm happy you're back. Here we go.
Dude, like 6 kids were sleeping. It's not much.
In the dean's office they were sleeping?
No, it's like
Who's your dean?
yes, they served me. Dean Weber.
Oh, Dean Weber's really mean.
Yeah.
I have Coach Blaze.
Well,
He's
hey.
the chillest one.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to
He's
know.
already still suspended.
All's good.
Dean Weber.
Sorry you got yanked out on that, man. I don't know. So they said you're an English teacher?
Kyle.
Alright, so everything is there. If you borrowed one of the calculators that you plug in, put it back on the charger, please.
Yeah,
Here's my absent work.
Wait, I want to see the word.
Please don't count it late.
What do you got?
Are you still rolling?
Yeah, I guess so.